An imposter teacher pretends to teach a class for money, but soon finds out that they're way more valuable to him due to their talents in music. Guess you'll have to stick around to the end to see how the whole story unfolds. Hello and welcome to Comedy Recap. Today we will give you a recap of the film School of Rock. Spoilers ahead, obviously. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. The movie starts with Dewey Finn, a heavy rock guitarist performing with his band in a pub. They get mixed attention from the audience. Dewey gets a little too much into his performance and dives right into the audience expecting people to catch him, but fails miserably and smashes his face right into the ground. Dewey is then seen sleeping in an apartment where he is asked to pay his rent by his roommate and his girlfriend. Dewey is forced to find and manage the money, so he goes to his band to ask. He reached them and found out that they had replaced him with another lead guitarist. Dewey went back to his apartment and is trying to sell his guitar but fails. He then got a call from a woman who asked for Mr. Schneebly and wanted to offer him a job that paid $650 every week. Dewey saw an opportunity and applied for the job pretending to be his roommate. Later, Dewey is seen walking into the school with the head of the school, Rosalie, where he was guided to his class and then introduced to the students. After they had left, Dewey first asked and then ate lunch from one of the students. He then told them that they would get recess every class. As soon as the bell rang, Dewey ran right back to his home. Dewey then tried persuading his roommate into joining his new band that he was trying to create but failed. The next day, Dewey spent his whole day in class lecturing them about a man that controlled everything. The head arrived at the class, interrupting Dewey and told him that the students had their music class next. Dewey then went to the bathroom to freshen up, where he started to hear music from afar. He tracked down the room from where the sound was coming from and found the students together performing and playing classical music. He then saw one of the students playing the guitar well and got impressed while also clicking upon an idea. He rushed his van outside, got his instruments, and brought them into the class. He provided them to the students one by one, guiding them on what to play, and managed to get himself a band. He then told the students that this was a school project that could get them into Harvard. Dewey is approached by a student from his class during a break while having lunch. The student told him that he thought he wasn't cool enough to be in a band and wanted to quit. Dewey comforted him by saying that a band doesn't necessarily have types and that he was fine. Dewey went to his class later on and assigned the roles to each of the students. One of his students, Summer, felt embarrassed being selected as a groupie. Dewey told her that she had the most important job of making sure that the other students completed their task. Dewey then went to the class and asked the students about their favorite bands, after which he got disappointed since their choices were different from his. One of the students later asked Dewey to play one of the songs that he had written. Dewey started to sing his song while also stating the roles that each student would have in it. Dewey then met with the head and asked her if he could take the students on a field trip, but she disagreed, stating that this was impossible since he was just a substitute teacher. The head later introduced him to the other teachers of the school. The next day, Dewey is practicing with his students, after which he gave each one of them music discs and assigned them tasks to listen to them and learn what they could. Dewey the next day saw one of his students being told by his father not to listen to any more rock music, which made Dewey disappointed. He then went to the class and told the students to let their frustrations out. He then asked them about stuff they had hated the most and blended them into his lyrics and expressed them to his students. The whole class laughed and enjoyed it. Dewey next is seen having lunch with the other teachers when a student approached in front of them and told him that he had enjoyed the lesson today. Time passed, and day after day, Dewey practiced with the students and each student got better at their positions. Later, Dewey is with the other teachers having coffee when the head came and reminded them of the parent-teacher meeting that was near and that they should prepare for it. Dewey, after hearing the news, got shocked and spilled the hot coffee over his hand since he wasn't expecting to meet the parents. Later, Dewey snuck out of the school with the kids and went to an audition to perform. They left behind a few students that covered for them by playing a recording of Mr. Schneebly teaching a class. Dewey reached the audition place where his band of students was getting criticized for having children in it. Dewey told them to ignore them and focus on their performance only. One of the students, Tamika, got nervous before the performance, where Dewey comforted her. He went for the audition, but found out that it had ended. He got suggested a plan by his student Summer and played it out by lying to the host of the audition that the students all had a disease and it was their wish to play this show. This made the host feel sad and finally gave Dewey and his band a chance to compete. The next day, Dewey got suggested a name for the band, School of Rock, by two students of his. The name had impressed Dewey. The students alerted Dewey of the heads approaching, to which the whole class started to sweep away and hide the musical instruments except for Dewey's guitar. The head came in and then sat in class to see and test out Dewey's method of playing music and teaching together.
9, and that's a magic number.
which he had successfully managed. Dewey then asked out the head and took her to a bar. He then went and played a song that Rosalie liked, to which she started singing. Dewey then cleverly sneaked in a question about taking the kids to a concert, to which the head agreed. They then went back to the school, and the head explained to Dewey how no one had ever asked her out in 6 years for drinks since she thought she wasn't cool, to which Dewey disagreed and told her she was very cool. The next day, Dewey found out that one of his students had written his song. He told him to play it out and then ordered and taught the other students to play along with him. He then met with the head, who told him to pick her up for the parent-teacher meeting since she gets nervous going alone. Dewey went back home where Ned, his roommate, found a check on his table with his name on it. He tried calling the school, but Dewey stopped him and told him everything. Dewey picked up Rosalie and reached the school for the meeting. He met with the parents and told them that he taught the students everything necessary. The parents started questioning Dewey about his methods and homework, while an officer also roamed outside. Dewey felt his time was short, so he explained to the parents how their kids were special and that they should be proud of them. The officer came in stating that Dewey was a fraud and a pretender. Dewey confronted his roommate Ned, who asked him to leave his apartment. The students at the school felt betrayed by Dewey, but at the same time missed him. They then went to him on a school bus and picked him up to go to the show. The head told the parents at the school that the children were missing. Dewey and the band prepared for their turn. The head and the parents came to the show for their kids. Dewey's turn came and they proceeded to perform. The audience was all cheering during the performance while the parents watched their children with pride. Dewey dived again at the audience, but this time they had caught him. The time for voting came, and the other band had won. Dewey sat in disappointment, while his students explained to him that it didn't matter what grade they had got, just as he had told them. The parents and the audience started to chant "School of Rock."
They want us to go play another song. It's good. Go, you guys. Wait, no, just the band.
And they proceeded to perform another performance. Sometime later, we see Dewey, who had started his own music classes, where the children came to practice with him. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.